and welcome to another episode of The Grindbin. I'm Mike Wood.
I'm Chris Mann.
I'm Bobby Trippett.
And I'm Michael Tanner.
Hey, Tanner.
Hey!
Today we're going to be talking about 1983's The Return of Captain Invincible.
Into the blue.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Yeah, I made the team. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
Spooky ain't got no real rhythm. We're gonna play a little game, baby.
I just love fun and games. Get a little girl all hot and horny.
How the hell would women live? I'm horny. And maybe Daddy wouldn't have had to kill himself because he couldn't get us up anymore.
What a shame.
Come on, just step on the gas before we get creamed.
You know, that's with as much gusto as Alan Arkin. That was wonderful, Tanner.
I think I might have outperformed him.
You might have.
Man, let's get right into that. Worst casting decision? I
so
love Alan
sad.
Arkin, but
Absolutely
what
love
the
him.
fuck? You know who would play a great Superman? Alan Arkin.
Well, when you hear who the original casting choice was...
See, I don't
it
know the
makes-
background.
It
I
makes
did the
even less
research too,
sense.
yeah.
Even less sense. A man who's even older.
What?
Like, literally almost a geriatric.
George Burns in a Superman cape?
No, it makes no sense. The original casting for this was James Coburn.
What?
Wow.
Yeah. James Coburn was supposed to be the return of... It was supposed to be Captain Invincible. A man in his, 60s at this point?
But that would at least work because Captain Invincible is supposed to be old at this point.
Older.
Yeah, older.
Did Eli Wallach say no?
No, James Coburn was the first choice.
That's who they had in mind?
Yeah, and then he went on to work with the director in another movie right
Man.
after this one. So, well, not right after this one because that was, we'll get into it. But this was the first ever Australian film with a superhero in it. The first Australian superhero movie.
I'm not
took him
sure
so
there's been
long?
one since.
Guys, this is an Ozploitation movie.
Yeah.
This is a fucking Australian movie, and I gotta say, 0 for 2. Like, fuck me. What? I'm sorry. I know we have a lot of Australian listeners. What the hell is wrong with your movies?
David,
Hold on.
speak up.
Hold on. 0 for 2.
Dead End Driving.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I don't recommend Dead End Driving. I'd
So
say
we're
it
0
was-
for 3?
Wait, what was 2?
Lunchwagon.
That
No,
was an
no,
Australian
no.
date.
Lunchwagon's recommended by an
Australian.
Australian.
Okay. Pardon me.
No, excuse me, Bobby. There was an official Lunchwagon Day on Hollywood Boulevard in L.A. Don't you remember the
That's true.
the recording of Mayor whoever going? Oh, what
McCheese,
is
I
it?
believe.
What the
I
fuck
believe it
is
was
it?
Mayor McCheese.
Today you're telling me it's Lunchwagon Day. Yeah, that's great.
All
Okay.
right, when does the wagon show up? I packed a lunch, but
Yeah.
No, this is a Patreon pick, and
pardon
I
me,
gotta
we are
say,
0 for 2.
yeah.
Screw you, Australia.
Well, I gotta say to our patron who picked us, Huey, thank you for your patronage for the show. We really, really appreciate it. He has another pick coming up, by the way, which is going to be very interesting. Here's the thing about this show: we're gonna be honest. Like, we're not going to play around. I mean,
Yeah.
our good friend Sean Thompson, who has recommended multiple shows to Chris and I that we loved every movie, recommended House 2, which is universally one of our least... I mean, that might win a Benny for
Yeah.
worst movie.
Sean Thompson secretly hates us, and that's okay. Because you're family and you work it out.
But you know...
here's the thing, though. We don't have to like a movie to enjoy talking about a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Hughes isn't here.
yeah, that's true.
So we can be like, yeah, this movie's bad. Let's have some fun.
Hughes' performance really does hinge on whether or not he liked the movie. He can't watch something that's bad and go, well, I'm going to enjoy talking about it. He
Yeah.
just goes into a sour mood. Like, nobody has an idea of what Hughes is like before we press record, but it's usually very upset.
And
somewhat
by no
dour, if you
means
will.
are we talking shit
Oh,
on
no,
our
no,
boy
no,
Hughes.
no,
He
no.
is
Oh, no.
No, no.
He's a wonderful addition to this show.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
like that he does that.
Yes.
Because we're all kind of, I don't know, hopeful, optimistic about it. He will drop anchor on a movie.
Oh, when you blow that Hughes fuse,
Yeah.
there's nothing better.
He's
And
great.
He will hate tweet at us, hate message us on Facebook and
Oh,
just
yeah.
be like, fuck you for picking this
Yeah,
movie. Fuck
I
this
received
shit."
a fish wrapped in newspaper from Chris Hughes. It showed up on my doorstep. But I didn't even pick the movie.
Well, he's like the much-needed contrarian, like the Christopher Hitchens to the show, you know?
Yeah, it's
true.
Yeah, he's the real Hitchens to the show. But I think that we'll definitely got to get another Herschel Gordon Lewis movie for Hughes. But we're not going to tell him it's one until he has to watch it. And I
that's
could just
great.
be like, oh, I can't make it this week, guys.
Well, fortunately for us, we have the entire Herschel Gordon Lewis collection
is.
sitting
Yeah.
in front of us.
Wow.
Bobby ended up buying that box set he was talking about on that episode.
On
And
Gorgo Girls episode. It is packaged as a cereal box,
yep,
Yeah.
he spent $100
So
on
jealous.
this.
It's so cool.
which is actually getting a deal.
The publicity for this movie maintained that its special effects were, quote, better than those in Superman,
Wow.
which is a movie made in 1978.
This
and this was
movie-
made in 1983.
1983. That shocked me when I looked that up. It's like this is post Superman 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
So better than Superman 3, at least.
this movie was
Richard Pryor with his like heroin burned hands.
that-
Watching a woman get turned into a robot painfully?
Yeah.
Why at the end of that movie does he just drop Richard Pryor off and he's like, you can find a job here, and then he just leaves him at like some
Yeah.
sort of mill or something?
Maybe Superman still has that evil Superman in him. He's like, I'm going to drop this black man in the middle of a
Yeah, he's
pit
like, I hear they got a
full of
computer
working
here.
class white guys and see what happens.
I think they got a computer in there. You know, you could go do it.
By the way, Tanner, you're a comics guy.
Yeah.
Was that their take on Metallo?
Yeah, Brainiac.
Brainiac?
It was Brainiac. It was originally
okay.
supposed to be Brainiac in Superman 3.
I had that feeling.
By the way, for any Grindbin listeners who donated to Tanner's Kickstarter, including myself, let
Joke's
us know.
on you. He's not. Oh,
I took the money and ran.
Let us
Straight
know.
here to be on a podcast.
I want to know who from the show that listens to the show donated that. We didn't mention it on the show, but your comic you have coming up, you can explain it better than me.
Oh yeah, it is directly. What's the best way to inspired by the Grindbin podcast. It's heavily inspired by the Raw Force movie, which Bobby brought in his very first episode. It is called Strike Team, codename Diamond Force.
it's a great title.
It is. I am so tired of saying it though, because you have to say the whole thing,
Right.
Otherwise, it doesn't work. And I've just been saying it every day of my life for the last 6 months. But it is a great comic. Kickstarter is successfully funded. Yeah, so look for me at Comic Cons to buy it. 'Cause
Awesome.
that shit is independently published.
What is your con schedule? Do you have
I
a
am-
table coming up somewhere?
I am at WonderCon.
Oh.
Fantastic.
WonderCon Artist Alley Table F36.
My man, are you going to have copies available there?
If we don't go to war with North Korea and South Korea is intact and not in a nuclear fire, then yes, because the book is being printed in Korea and should be on a boat from Korea shortly.
Wow.
Whoops.
Hopefully it's being stored in a Volvo.
Hopefully.
Everything in the country blew
safest
up
car.
except for this book about whores and rocks. So we're not really sure what that's about.
It's going to be used as ammunition against the North Koreans.
Well, I will see you at WonderCon and I
See
will
me
buy
there.
a copy from
Buy
you.
a copy.
And
It's really funny, guys. Not to be up my own ass, but it's a really good comic.
All right.
Anyway, that should probably be at the end of the episode. But hey, let's talk about
Hey,
Captain
no.
Invincible.
We're
Yeah,
doing this
now.
Tarantino stuff.
Yeah.
No better way to front load a show, you know?
yeah. So guys,
Freeform.
the movie's theatrical release in Australia was delayed for a year.
Rightfully so.
Because
God.
of a legal dispute between the producer and the director, and that's where this gets really weird. According to a book called The Avocado Plantation, which I have no idea why that's the title of it or why it talks about the return of Captain Invincible, but it's by a man named David Stratton. It was, quote, it was claimed that after director Philippe Mora had finished the film, producer Gaddy, acting on the advice of his American distributor, had recut it, presumably to make it more acceptable for the U.S. market. Mora had objected to this tampering with his film, and the matter was brought before the Minister for Home Affairs. That's, I guess, what they call it in Australia, huh?
That sounds like Harry Potter shit.
the
For the Minister of the Dark Arts.
Minister for Home Affairs.
Wow.
Just like, man, they really get in the bedroom there in Australia, huh?
Played by Judi Dench.
Tom McVeigh. Timothy McVeigh.
Timothy McVeigh, the Minister of Home Affairs.
That's where he went. Oh, no.
We knew it.
Who took the step of refusing the final certification, which was required to qualify for the 150% tax deduction for investors.
Would you say this film was a Unabomb?
Yeah, he definitely Unibombed it. Gaddy challenged
I'll
the
leave.
decision in court, and to the surprise of many, won. As a result, McVeigh announced tightening of guidelines for Australian certification. I don't know what any of that means, but apparently it was delayed for a year. The movie's American distributor, however, Jensen Farley Pictures, just went bankrupt right before it came out. So they were like,
Great.
whoops. Kind of like Bakshi, you know, with Coonskin. They were just like, whoops, we're out of
Sorry.
business. Fuck it. Guess your movie's done. So I don't know if this ever came out in America, but hopefully for the sake of Alan Arkin, it didn't. Guys, we're going to get into the crew now. Philippe Mora, who's the director of this, the second Australian feature film he directed. The first was Mad Dog Morgan in 1976, which stars Dennis Hopper. And the third was Death of a Soldier, 1986, which has, James Coburn, who was supposed to be the star of this. I think probably James Coburn picked the right movie, but I haven't seen the other one. So, I mean, I have seen Mad Dog Morgan, and I should have been warned by then not to watch this movie. So
That's a bummer.
here's some other things he directed. 1984, A Breed Apart by Rutger Hauer. Get this description. So this was made 1 year after Captain Invincible. A conservationist and a widow meet a mountain climber hired to steal bald eagle eggs. That's the movie.
Is Rutger Hauer the mountain climber?
I don't know.
He's the bald eagle egg.
Mountain climber gets up there and he's just doing his Blade Runner. Sitting
You
there
won't
in the
believe
rain.
the things he's seen.
Yeah, and they just walk away as he does that long speech. They're like, yeah, whatever, Rutger.
Where are you guys going? All of this will be lost. Okay.
Like feathers in the wind.
Then he made 1982, so 1 year before this movie, The Beast Within, which has Ronnie Cox, one of my favorite character actors. You can see him in RoboCop.
Damn right you can.
God damn, he's too good to be in one of this guy's movies. Like, come on.
You take this back right now.
I was really depressed when I saw Ronnie Cox was involved. He stars in the movie, which he rarely stars in a movie, but he always stars in it to me.
Put some music behind that.
1985, he made Howling 2, Your Sister is a Werewolf with Christopher Lee.
Fantastic.
And then he made The Marsupials, The Howling 3. Then you know what fucking movie this guy made? This really, really
What
made
this
me
son of a
happy.
bitch did?
No, one of Man and I's favorites.
Really?
1989, Communion.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh no.
If you have never seen Communion, find a copy. Do yourself a favor. Christopher Walken at his best. At his best.
I moved out here from Pennsylvania when I was 10 years old. My father put me on a plane by myself. First time ever on a plane, and said, "You're going to meet your grandma out there on the West Coast." He handed me a paperback of Communion
I also read that as a boy.
to read on the plane at 10 years old.
I did it for a book report. I found it in my dad's room and I liked the cover. I was like, this is great.
This is a Dorf situation. Every dad had a copy of Dorf on Golf and a paperback of Communion.
Why Communion, too? What a
I don't know.
bizarre movie. So it's a book about a guy who still writes books today. He's been abducted 20 times or something like that now.
Also a radio show host.
Yeah. Oh, he has his own show
yeah,
now?
yeah.
He used to be on Coast to Coast all
I
the
was
time.
going to ask if it was Coast
cool.
to Coast. that
I
he's
think
popping on.
it's the time slot after Coast to Coast.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Whitley Strieber, who's written about 20 books. He's been abducted like 15 times now.
You think he's met the fire in the sky guy?
I don't know.
sure.
I mean,
Travis Walton.
Travis
what are they
Walton,
looking
yeah.
for in his ass
That guy's
at this
still alive.
point? You know, they've found that. They've looked through that cavity. Like,
that man is cancer free.
Your hands
Like,
are
don't
so
even worry
cold.
about it.
I mean, if you want to see a scene where Christopher Walken actually gets raped by aliens, watch Communion. It is incredible. Have you guys seen this movie?
I've not seen the film.
Oh,
Do the
please watch
aliens
it.
put the watch in his ass?
Okay, all the aliens look like old men, little old men, the Greys,
So,
right?
Dorf.
And there's one part where he looks at him, he goes, "You're old," for some reason. And then you see the part where they're about to put something in his ass, and he just goes, "Oh no."
Are you sure you didn't watch Cocoon?
No.
The aliens are old men.
No. Just watch Communion. I might even just do it as a Patreon show or something because I love that movie so much. It is insane. Christopher Walken is just tap dancing all over that movie. He's wearing top hats. There's parts where he breaks the fourth wall and starts looking at the camera and pointing and clicking.
Yeah.
It is weird.
Just like that scene in the book.
He's pointing at the reader.
Well,
The pop-up book.
Famously, Whitley Strieber was on set for that movie, and he told Christopher Walken, he says, "I wouldn't act like that. You need to tone it down. I'm not
Yeah,
crazy."
no shit.
And Christopher Walken looked at him and he goes, "If the shoe fits."
Fuck you. You are.
Okay, so the
Just picture
other...
him being like, look,
The alien
crazy.
movie.
you think you saw aliens?
Guys, the other movie he directed, it's come up on this show before.
Mugsy's Girls.
The Pterodactyl Woman of Beverly Hills.
Wow.
I don't remember what it was in reference to, Mr. Crown told us about that movie, and I have no idea where that chain came to, but he directed that movie, so stay tuned.
Yeah, Mr. Crown, nowhere to be seen right now. Or
He's
found,
laying
but-
low right
yeah.
Very low.
I'm hoping he pops up for our binnies.
He definitely might.
Yeah.
So,
He's got to
guys,
present that lifetime achievement binny.
2 writers for this movie.
That's 3 too many.
Hey, guess what? The other one, Andrew Gaddy, the producer of this movie. He only wrote 2 other movies in Australia. You've never heard of him. But the other writer of this movie, holy shit, Steven Souza. Steven D'Souza.
Yeah.
Steven D'Souza.
Okay, responsible for classics such as Die Hard 1 and 2, 48 Hours, Commando, The Running Man, and also responsible
Represent
for
the other side.
another 48 Hours, Hudson Hawk, The Flintstones, Beverly Hills Cop 3, Judge Dredd, Knockoff, and he directed Street Fighter the movie.
Wow. He subscribes to that old saying, one for them, one for nobody.
Yeah. He's the one responsible for putting Vaya con Dios Raul in front of the Street Fighter movie, which is just like,
He killed Raul
yeah,
Julia.
fuck you, Steven.
Do you think it was like an adaptation situation where there's actually 2 guys, like the Charlie Kaufman and the other Kaufman? Where
Yes.
he wrote, like, there's one who wrote all the good stuff and the other one wrote all the bad stuff.
This
Yeah.
is like the dark half,
Yes.
where he keeps trying to stop writing shitty screenplays.
Yeah, so he definitely has his alter ego, like he does in that movie that writes The 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Street Fighter, I guess.
There's a horse and a motorcycle chase, and it's like a man versus machine kind of thing. But really, they're the same person.
Can you imagine them just being like, who are we going to get to direct Street Fighter? Oh, the guy who wrote, he wrote Commando and Running Man.
Oh, you know that's how they presented that.
Yeah.
We got the writer of Commando, Running Man, and Die Hard.
Yeah, and
They're like, Street Fighter's going to be a huge
he
hit.
just came off writing a movie with John Goodman. Well, which movie? So he'd be perfect for this project. So, guys, the cast, yikes.
Oh, my God.
Okay, Alan Arkin, who plays Captain Invincible, I was
Fantastic
heartbroken.
actor.
I wanted to see this movie because Alan Arkin.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big fan of his. He's great, especially a lot of his later work, like in the 90s and 2000s. He's been a resurgence. Slums of Beverly Hills, great role for him. Obviously, Little Miss Sunshine, great as the heroin addict grandpa. He was in Argo. He's in all sorts of stuff, and he's in this as a superhero.
Who better to play a Superman analog than Alan Arkin?
Alan Arkin.
Just on the voice alone.
I was just like, it can't be the Alan Arkin, right?
There's got to be another one.
Well, I watched this with my wife last night, and she was like, "Oh, who's in it?" I was like, "Alan Arkin." She's like, "The guy from MASH?" And I was like, "No, that's Alan Alda, but he would have been a better choice."
Oh God, no.
You know the guy from Glengarry who needs to talk to his wife about it? He's a superhero.
And then, guys, Grindbin All-Star, Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
From Jocks.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, what happened with Christopher Lee in the 80s?
I didn't even know he had a drug problem. Like, he kept that shit locked down.
What happened to him? He did this in Jocks within, years of each other.
Who did he
what
hit
the
with his
fuck?
car?
And then Howling 2?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you, Christopher Lee? I used to have some sort of respect for him, but I don't anymore. I'm
happens,
just like, no, I was wrong about
Remember
this,
when we
man.
all revered Ben Kingsley? Yeah. When he was like a BF, that's a serious
And
fucking
he goes,
actor.
yeah, Uwe Boll's great.
Yeah.
Great for my house, my 4th house.
Exactly.
So Christopher Lee, he really needed the money in the 80s. I mean, hardcore, because wow. He sings in this movie.
Yeah.
That's
Christopher Lee.
what I read is the reason why he chose to do this is because he had never been in a musical before. And he
Stuff like
wanted
that
to,
happens.
Christopher,
There's a reason
there might be a
Anthony
reason.
Hopkins is hanging out with the Transformers.
Yeah.
But did anybody ever tell Christopher Lee that, hey, Chris, maybe there's a reason in a musical? Just saying,
Now,
maybe.
hold on a second. Have you heard his metal band?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, Christopher Lee has a metal band?
Oh, we're going to have to drop some in right now. He,
Oh, no.
in his latest years, toward the end, he recorded a fucking black metal album, and
Yeah.
it's kind of awesome.
And a black metal Christmas album, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no hip touring
as
on the
Count
show.
Dooku.
Yeah.
It's
no
pretty
Saruman
rad.
Christopher
Yeah,
Lee. Like he
Saruman,
is,
or like
he
doing
is
vocals for a
bearded.
black metal band. It's rad.
I mean, he really had a resurgence in the 2000s because what the fuck was happening in the 80s? Like, it's just a decade he wanted
The same thing that was
forget.
happening to everybody, man.
I mean, because he did all these movies, and then all of a sudden, like, George Lucas and Peter Jackson are like, let's get Christopher Lee. You know, what's he been doing? I don't remember him in anything since, like, Dracula, right? Mm-hmm. He's
Yeah.
still alive?
He was at this point, yeah. Wasn't Christopher Lee just that dude from the old Hammer movies?
Yeah, that's it.
You know who'd be a good villain? Dracula.
Yeah. And then he hacked it against a tennis ball.
Isn't he also the villain in one of the made-for-TV movie Captain Americas from the 70s?
I want to say yeah.
I think so.
Probably.
When Cap's riding around on a motorcycle
Yeah, where
with
he's
a
like a
clear
surfer
shield,
hippie.
hanging out in a van like
Yep.
Captain Marvel on TV.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking to me
Now-
that he's in this movie.
All right,
he
where
gives it
is
his
this?
all.
Where is this before or after Scaramanga?
I don't know. This is
After,
1983.
right?
It's after.
83? Yeah.
Oh, 80s, yeah, because I'm thinking, was Man with the Golden Gun 82? Someone listening to our show is a
someone
Bond
is
fan, and they're
yelling.
like, you motherfucker. Like,
Don't you feel 83?
I'm about to get another fish wrapped in newspaper.
Yeah, I don't know. But whatever it was, Christopher Lee, like you said, Michael, he gave it his all, which is kind of even more sad.
That this was his all.
Yeah. He's acting against a fucking character from Fraggle Rock in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's embarrassing. Guys, the last person I'm going to mention is Kate Fitzpatrick, who plays Patty Patria. She's just an Australian actress. You wouldn't know anything she's in, but she's in quite a bit. So, good for her. Trivia.
Man with the Golden Gun was 74.
No.
Like, not even close.
So this movie was not a musical. It was an action movie, and then Philippe Mora was a huge fan of musicals and said, I want to make a musical and
So
change
is,
this script.
One of those rare occasions where the money people involved in a movie had some stupid-ass idea and ruined it.
Yep. It was not intended to be this way.
God damn.
Now, that's not the only thing that ruins this movie.
Right.
True.
I mean, also the airplane-esque humor coming out of nowhere 20 minutes in, kind of...
But the musical thing is the first thing up front that turns you off.
That's when it hits
immediately.
you.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Oh, yeah.
Because I was kind of on board.
You are not prepared for that
For a
song.
little bit.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, guys, the story of this movie ripped off. Hancock ripped this fucking movie off.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
hardcore ripped it off.
That should have been a musical.
I mean, they got something going. Because that movie, pile of trash, but ripped this movie off. He used to be a superhero. Now he's a drunk and not a superhero anymore. And they convince him to be a superhero again.
By the way, did you ever hear the original title of Hancock?
It's called He Comes at Night.
I think it was like Tonight He Comes.
Yeah, Tonight He Comes. I know because my advanced screenwriting teacher, his protege, wrote that movie.
That's wonderful.
Why would it ever be called Tonight He Comes?
Right? That seems like a horrible
By
idea.
the way, the original script, it was on the blacklist for a long time. Very good. Hancock sucks.
It happens. It happens all the time. Have you heard of the film Without Warning? It's sort of a B movie about aliens. It's kind of like a proto-Predator. It's got Jack Palance in it. It was originally called It Came Without Warning. Like, there are old posters and old trailers that have the full title on
Oh,
there.
no, please
Before
don't say
somebody finally
Weinstein
went,
Company.
wait a minute, this is a terrible
No, I have
idea.
that taped above my bed.
Was that produced by the Weinsteins or
Undoubtedly.
guys?
I know, the warning signs were there with him.
Speaking of the music, the people
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
who were responsible for some of the Rocky Horror Picture Show songs wrote some of the music.
Yeah,
I'm guessing
I saw that.
not the songs we all remember from Rocky Horror.
3 of the 10 songs.
Mm-hmm.
No, they wrote. No. They wrote the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, it's Richard O'Brien and Richard Hartley.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man.
And
Dick
you
and
know
Dick.
which 3 songs if you're familiar with Rocky Horror.
Yep. Because it sounds just like
Yeah.
Rocky Horror.
That's true.
They were like, whatever, we'll take the money and the white powder. Thank you.
Yeah.
They also
Is it
wrote
one
the
bagger?
music for Shock Treatment.
I am a big fan of Shock Treatment, the sequel to Rocky Horror.
Is that the sequel to Rocky Horror?
It is a indirect sequel. It has Brad and Janet in it.
That's
and
interesting.
It
I
does
never
not
knew that.
refer to anything from the first movie, although they do say that there was an incident and Brad has been forever changed.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
The songs in it are pretty good.
That's even
Okay.
more connected than like Cyborg being the sequel to Masters of the Universe, rewritten to be a Van Damme movie.
Okay, so guys, before we get into it, do you know why James Coburn wouldn't be in this movie?
You read the script?
One scene.
Which scene did he read?
He disagreed with one scene,
Oh.
and Philippe Mora said, I will not change it.
I think I read about this. Is this the The vacuum cleaners.
Yes, he refused. He said, "I don't understand why I would fight vacuum cleaners. I will not be in the movie unless you change that."
My understanding is Alan Alda, yeah,
Also had
almost
problems.
watched
MASH.
this movie. Alan Arkin almost walked from this movie over that same
Yeah.
scene. I almost walked away from watching that movie
That
over
is
that same
the scene where I was like, "Fuck this movie."
This scene belongs in Dead Heat.
Yeah. So this reminds me of a story that just happened to me the other week. I went and saw Holy Mountain at a screening with the director. He was there. Jodorowsky's there. And he was being interviewed by Nicholas Refn, which was amazing to see both of them there. He asked him, he goes, "Hey, tell them the story about George Harrison supposed to be in Holy Mountain." And he says, "Oh, I went to go talk to George Harrison because infamously the Holy Mountain was made because John Lennon got the Beatles music producer to give Jodorowsky $1 million to make any movie he wanted." And then when he got the movie, he said, "This isn't a movie I can sell." And he goes, "Well, you didn't tell me to make a movie you could sell. You told me to make a movie." And so he had asked George Harrison. George Harrison said he really wanted to be in the movie. And Jodorowsky flew to London or wherever he was to meet with him. And he said, "Okay, I'll be in the movie, but there's one scene I can't do. I don't want to show my asshole in the movie because there's a part where the beggar, the thief, gets his butthole scrubbed on camera in the movie." And Jodorowsky said, "All right, fine," and just left.
Holy shit.
Amazing.
Didn't even offer to get a body double or anything.
Yeah,
Just like,
at least.
Fuck it. Guess
Or
you're
do-
not in the movie.
Or do
Thanks.
that gag where you like put your knuckles really close to a camera. And just do that.
Yeah, he just said, "Hey, you won't show your asshole? You're not in my movie. Sorry." Yeah. So, guys, do you have anything else to add before we get into the movie?
Oh, I think I'm ready to rip the Band-Aid.
Yeah, hard left already.
Is there a trailer?
We're not going to play it. So, guys, it starts with this newsreel style video, which is the backstory, which, by the way, is the best part of the whole movie. in my
I agree.
opinion.
The year was 1944.
I had high hopes when
Yeah.
I saw this,
This
part.
is cool. We're doing some wartime moonshining.
Yes, this is like
Yes.
the intro to the Indiana Jones ride.
Indeed. It totally is, and it feels like the old Captain Marvel Republic serials. The first ever appearance of a superhero on film.
And
It felt just like it.
I
loved
thought it was great.
Same.
I know that Hughes actually watched this movie. It was not on the podcast, which I'm sure he's even more upset about. But he complained. He said, "Fuck this newsreel shit" in the beginning, and I was just like, "Oh, really?" Like I've only seen the first few minutes.
He was
by then,
ready to spit immediately.
and I was.
I thought
into
that
it.
part went on a little bit too long.
I'll give you that. It did overstay its welcome, but it's a solid way to open a
Yeah.
movie.
But it starts with Captain Invincible coming in all serial style,
The
like
Legend in Leotards.
yeah, and he's
The man of magnets.
he like breaks into some gangster drug deal, and then all of a sudden he's flying over Germany attacking Hitler and like stopping planes by just sitting on the propeller and stuff. And this is when I start to realize, oh no,
Yeah.
it's one of these. It's a gag movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like people don't get it that like we hate gag movies on this podcast. Like,
And that's why they send them.
Stand them.
And during this black and white intro stuff, I was willing to forgive the costume during that because I'm like, it's supposed to be old school and kind of lame.
Yeah.
Because he's got eagle claws
I
holding his
noticed that.
cape on,
Yeah.
and they look very Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Like he murdered Big Bird
Yeah.
and took the legs.
He's got Big Bird's feet on his shoulders.
Yeah.
And like a weird bird helmet.
And guys, I appreciate the spirit of this movie. I really do. I think like the premise was good, but the movie, what the fuck is going on?
There's an
Yeah.
okay movie in here.
Yeah, like this is not. I wouldn't even call this a first draft. I'd call this the Coke draft. Like you just write down all your. Oh my god!
Yeah.
And then there's this, and then there's this, and then this, and then like we shoot next week.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh fuck! I forgot to rewrite it.
Conceptually, this would have made like a good Darwin Cook comic.
I mean, this thing goes everywhere. It's throwing out ideas, then it will just like go away from them, and then you're like, oh wait, yeah. That was a
Yeah.
plot point.
Tonally, you're flipping channels. This is like a Surf 2 situation.
Yeah. So this is the newsreel goes on like he's like helping the Boy Scouts. He shows them how to make a fire, and he's like twisting a log, like a big log.
Yeah, it takes a big tree and just starts twisting it on the ground until a giant fire starts. And he takes a picture with a boy. And he grabs him by the shoulder, and they have the celery sound.
Yeah.
Like they just crushed this kid's shoulder.
And then it's all gone bad now. Like the Senate has come after him, the U.S.
McCarthyism.
Senate. Okay, so this takes place in America, not Australia in the beginning of the movie. Like he's America's hero.
Yeah, he's Superman.
They actually have shots of McCarthy.
Yeah, they splice
Stock
in
footage of
actual
McCarthy.
footage.
Yeah.
There's also parts where
pretty
he's
solid.
later in the movie where they show him talking to FDR. I'm like, oh, that doesn't match.
This is some Watchmen
like,
shit.
That's really bad. And I don't know if they did it on purpose.
Yeah, it's
or not,
presented
but
as if
it's
FDR
bad.
is talking
We're
to
gonna
Captain
reveal that,
Invincible, but it's just from a speech.
Yeah, 'cause
And
I
then they
didn't-
do a reverse shot of Captain Invincible, and it's like, what?
He's there for every
He's not
major
talking
speech.
to
He's
him,
like
yeah.
Forrest Gump as a superhero.
At first, I didn't know he was talking to him. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
they're having a conversation.
I thought it was just random B-roll, just kind of interspliced.
Any famous speech they can find. We will fight them on the beaches. And he's standing there like, yes, we will.
Yeah, this is like the original Forrest Gump, where they're putting Tom Hanks and all that old footage, you know?
Alan Arkin drinking Dr. Peppers.
So basically, they think
And-
he's a communist because he was in Russia and he wears a red cape.
Speaking of things ripping other things off, Batman versus Superman. We have the big like Senate hearing.
Oh,
about, like,
yeah.
Can we trust
That's
you?
the
So
exact thing I was thinking,
hoping a
too.
dude in a wheelchair was going to
Yeah.
explode.
I've never seen it.
A dude in a wheelchair explodes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all you need to see.
They have a Senate hearing because they don't trust Superman. And then a guy detonates himself in that scene, and it looks like Superman blew up the Senate.
Like, here, you know what, guys? Let me just, a little hint for any superhero movie. Leave the fucking Senate out of it. You know? Like, every time you go to, like, a Senate, like, hey, Star Wars prequels, like, just,
yeah.
no. Leave it out. Like,
Hey,
no, you know what really derails a fun action adventure movie? A fucking Senate hearing.
Procedures.
Hey, Brian Michael Bendis, we're not here to watch superheroes chat.
Yeah.
we don't want to sit around at a table and have a nice long talk. We're here to
Guys,
watch people be superheroes.
We got to get that parliamentary procedure correct.
Yeah, get Bootsy Collins in here.
Like, the floor yields to Holly Hunter for the next 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Man,
The Flash
good
knows
thing
how
you
to
haven't seen that
filibuster.
movie you're talking about.
I did like that they used the prematurely anti-fascist terminology from the things. It's like you weren't against the Nazis at the right time, so therefore your sympathies are suspect.
Man, it's like being against Al Qaeda during Rambo 3.
Yeah,
So now it's just he vanishes, right?
Yeah.
And that, yeah, just Rambo 3. That has aged well, hasn't it?
So good.
Where Rambo
So
makes
good.
friends with a young Taliban-y
He
boy.
helps create Al Qaeda.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he really did.
That was a bit of a misstep there, John.
Whoops!
I see
Day
why
by
you went.
day.
I see why you disappeared toward Burma. You're like, oh, I fucked up big. Like a real Jedi.
Yeah,
you made
yeah.
a huge fucking mistake, and so you left. So yeah, they're accusing Captain Invincible of impersonating a military official, flying without a pilot's license, and wearing underwear in public.
Zing! Yeah. So now he's vanished.
And now he's just a guy doing drunken yodeling.
Yep.
on a mountain.
So the beginning of this movie, after the cold open, the credits are a shaky ass camera shot of a guy singing on a mountain who keeps falling on his ass.
And for a second, I thought that was Captain Invincible.
It is.
It is.
Okay.
And for a couple seconds after that, I continued to think that was
Yeah.
Captain
For the
Invincible.
entire 5 minutes of us just watching that helicopter footage of him falling over again and again.
Okay.
And again.
So,
And you
man,
guys-
were you
Captain
watching this
Invincible.
going like, so is Captain Invincible going to save this guy when he falls off a mountain?
No, you don't get it. This is when man turned off the movie.
Man down.
Not far off.
So we just had some shaky ass cameras for a long time, and he's just singing, and then all of a sudden there's some news reporter there and now we're in Australia, and they're asking about why Skylab came crashing
Yeah.
Earth. Why is the newspaper reporter on a mountain? Nothing makes sense. Anyways, who cares?
And that's why I thought it was. Yeah, that's why I thought it was not supposed to be him or him. It's confusing. I don't get what the fuck's going on.
It's understandable.
It's like, are they in Australia or America? Where are
Because
we?
we do a giant time hop, and this
Yeah.
guy looks nothing like Alan Arkin did in the beginning.
Yeah.
By the way, production values of this movie are too good for it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because the cinematography is not bad. They
It's-
use a lot of very, very wide anamorphic lenses.
It's part of the frustration of this movie, because you're like, there's a good movie in here, and it's not being let out.
This was just a garbage
It's being
heap.
crushed under bullshit.
Oh my god! So then we cut to New York, where Christopher Lee, who plays Mr. Midnight, is being evil.
Solid name.
Now he has this gang of people that he arouses and stuff.
What?
They will. Well, he does really, but they will never come back.
well, don't they come back at the end?
Sometimes they come back.
Yeah.
Not really.
Because I know he takes care of
Okay.
the little person.
But so the
Dorf.
the Fraggle Rock, yeah.
We've got our resident Muppet.
Like
There's a woman who's like, Operation Dog Feces is complete.
yes,
We don't see her
yes.
again.
What happens to this? Like,
What?
okay, I have it all written down. Homeless man clapping trash can lids. Who just wakes up and he's waking up the city. Like, this is your fucking rooster of New York, just going like, hey, 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 hey. Every day
That's what they
at
call
5
those.
a.m.
Those are
this
street
fucker-
roosters.
Yes,
Noisy homeless men. That's street roosters.
Tanner, a man
boy.
dressed as a nurse. Can you explain anything else about this?
Well, I remember the punk spray painting graffiti that says something like "Wogs go home," which I think "wog" is a racial slur in Australia, not in the U.S., but that scene takes place in the U.S., so I guess that was for the home audience.
yeah.
Wallaby anal guzzler?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I think it's a compliment, but I think some people think it's a slur.
To each their own.
And then there's the weird-looking lady who I swear I recognize from somewhere, who says the Operation Dog Feces is complete.
I thought that was a man dressed as a nurse.
Wait, that's supposed to be a nurse?
Yeah, I
Oh.
thought it was like Heath Ledger in Dark Knight.
Well, is it
that's
Heath
like the-
Ledger's mom?
No, it's like the Joker
He's
outfit.
Australian, right?
You know what I mean? When he
Oh,
goes
yeah.
into the
Yeah,
hospital.
you're right.
I thought it was a man dressed as a nurse. All I can see is there's like a dog house with a dog on top of it and dog shit
Just drops dog shit.
just spitting out of this thing. And it says something about dog feces.
Operation Dog Feces is complete.
I've done the research here, gentlemen, and WOG is referring to anybody from the Mediterranean or Middle East. It's Australian street slang.
Oh, yeah. wow.
So that was for
It,
the
it
home
means
crowd.
non-white people go home.
Huh.
Some real dead-end driving shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems to be a running theme for
Oh.
Australian movies
Turns
so
out
far
an
that we've
island
covered.
full of criminals.
Yeah, right.
They're not the most enlightened people.
Wow. Wow.
Sorry, you're reject
We
Brits.
have multiple Australian listeners.
And I think if they've been listening this long, they know that we love them.
yeah, we do.
I don't.
But guys,
I
what
do.
is wrong with your
Tanner
country?
we do
I
not
love
represent
Australia.
Tanner's opinions.
How you going? How you going? That's what they say. I've been there. That's what they say to you.
Wow.
How you going?
Yeah. I know little things about foreign countries.
So they have this whole thing with all these guys: the trash can lid, the urban rooster, as Bobby called them, street rooster,
Sidewalk Santas.
the dog shit nurse, and who else?
These are other superhero characters in
Goodbye.
the story.
You'll never see them again. Instead, we're stuck with some Fraggle Rock character or a reject from House 2 that, like, so Christopher Lee has a Muppet assistant.
Named Julius?
Yes, the
Yeah.
character's name is
Julius.
Julius.
Apparently, these people work for Mr. Midnight, but just forget it because you'll never see him again. Then we
Doesn't
go
really
to
matter.
this again. This is just like another line of coke. And they forgot to write that into the movie. They were like, I got this great idea. Nope, gone.
You got to pick up the comic book.
Then we go to, it's all in the graphic novel,
all-
the original, Captain Invincible.
We got a 12-issue maxi. It's going to explain it all.
So there's this thing about, so this is when we kind of get the plan, which makes almost no sense. Is there's this place called Sicilian Heights that we cut to where they're trying to sell Italian immigrants who live in New York City to live in this town with the rest of the Italian
they're
immigrants.
doing segregation with the different races through these different areas.
Yes.
Of homes. There's another section called Afro Acres.
Yeah, Afro Acres was when I wrote,
Yeah, that's a real air through the teeth moment.
yeah,
God.
Polish jokes and black jokes.
Good stuff.
Wow.
Who is it? So it's Italians, Polish, Black. What were the other ethnic? Oh,
That's it.
Israel Acres was another one.
Wow, Israel Acres. They couldn't even come up with any better pun or anything.
It all makes up Wogtropolis.
Yeah, so Wogtropolis is apparently some sort of like community islands. They're trying, like, Christopher Lee's plan is to, and I'm not joking, to cleanse New York City, and everybody will reward him by carrying him to the White House, which is not too far off.
Yeah.
He's just
relevant.
30 years too early. But it was weird because the way they shot it, it made me think the scam was selling the same property to all these different ethnic groups. So they didn't-
Otisburg.
yeah, like it was kind of like making them all buy the same property and getting them all in one place.
Yeah.
So, but later on they establish that it's multiple neighborhoods.
By the way, I mean, we're already, they were taking shots at Superman, talking about the special effects, and their villain has a property-based plan. Like, come on, guys.
But what I've explained does not happen until about 90 minutes into the movie is when you find out the real plan, because they never discuss any of
That's
it.
true.
They're just like, this exists. And by the way, these communities will cut about minute 60 back to them. And I'm like, oh,
yeah.
that was a part of the movie? I just thought that was some bizarre joke.
I thought I passed out for a second and dreamed that.
So then we go to like Sydney, and the captain is drunk and being a homeless person. And then some lady complains, and this cop lady, Patty, comes up and just tells like, oh, you got to get away from here or something. And then as he's walking, so this is how we learn how Australian cops deal with criminals, which we got a lot of similarities, I think, you know?
We're not so different.
So she sees a guy robbing another guy. What I could see was almost like a purse snatching between two men. And she just immediately takes out a dirty, hairy gun and starts opening fire at
She
the
goes
man.
full Eastwood.
Full open public.
Yeah. She
and
quick
by the
draws
way,
like the man with no name.
Captain Invincible's
He's right there. He's like 6 feet away.
He's within the line of fire.
Yeah.
She's like, could you duck, please? And then just
No.
starts firing at this guy. And then somehow this gets even weirder because the crook gets into a Beetle, like a Volkswagen Beetle with a
It's
flamethrower.
equipped
Yeah.
with Spaceballs the flamethrower.
So, like Dead End Drive-In or something.
So
Like,
it's
I don't know.
It's like a backwards Batmobile.
And so, having seen Dead End Drive-In and now this, what the fuck, Australia?
Yeah, and Road
What's
Warrior.
with your cars? Every car's souped up with
So
weapons.
is like Road Warrior not too far off?
Island full of
what-
criminals. Everyone's packing.
By the way,
Yeah.
this is never referenced again.
No.
The fact that a man has a flamethrower coming out the front of his car. Like, this is like a Universal stunt show.
The Mariner is gonna go by on a jet ski. Hey, Australian listeners, can you write in and let us know that's street legal over there, Australia? We're allowed to have flamethrowers.
I mean, I'm ready to go to Australia and start making movies because any shit flies. Like, and that's clear. Like, you know, you just make anything, they're going to love it because it was made there, you know, great on you.
Great on you.
Yeah.
Says Mike Wood of the
Box
Grindbin.
office hit.
Yeah, we actually tried to film a music video over there. We ran around in like Mad Max paint. And
Yeah.
rode bicycles, and they were loving it. They're like, "Oh, all right, good on you, buddy."
They thought it was the best.
What's that saying?
How you going?
How you going?
How you going?
We're going forward.
So, is what I can see, it's just cut bad, so bad. Is Captain Invincible's walking, and then you see the car coming at him, and then all of a sudden the car is up in the air, and Captain Invincible's just walking away, and we're led to believe that the car hit him.
And then flipped over him. This is like Hellboy punching the car with his right hand.
But it doesn't even fly, like, doesn't flip. It just goes
straight up.
like an elevator.
And we
Just
don't-
lifted it up and
Would you
dropped
believe he
it.
kind of flapjacked it? Like just put a palm
Well,
under
we
it?
don't
real
see
quick?
it.
Thought.
That's the
That-
problem.
That
We
was
didn't
my
show
head
the action.
canon, yeah.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
And because the car already established that it suddenly had a flamethrower, for all we know, suddenly it's a flying car. It's like Inspector
Australia?
Gadget.
Australia. We want answers.
Figure it out, Australia.
What are
Let's
you
hear
holding
it.
out on?
Yeah, it's their space program.
NASA.
Okay, so this is when you know that this is not okay. They cut to what's called the U.S. Defense and Space Research Facility, and defense is spelt
Oh, I did not catch that.
Australian defense, I guess, in that it's not. I believe it's not how we spell it here.
They don't spell it the same?
Do they use
I
a
don't
C
think so.
instead
There
of an
was a
S?
C instead
Yeah.
of an S.
That might be a gag.
I don't think so.
I don't know because I was like,
Well, how
Was
does
there also some workers hauling away a fence? Like, we're defencing this.
Waka
Oh
waka.
God.
So this is so confusing because all of a sudden there's two Australian men and one we're supposed to believe is called the president. And I was like, the president of Australia? No, he's the president of the U.S.
Yeah,
but
it's the
apparently
king
we
of town.
elected an Australian because this guy's like, oh, mate, over here in the U.S., it's how we do things. And you're like, God, I'm sorry, what is going on? Because I don't understand any of this. They're walking, there's naked people. And they're like, what's with all this naked people? And they're walking around and he's calling prime minister and this and this.
And why are the president's guards just like carrying machine guns like we're in Central America?
Right.
This is like Coney's guards.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know. But all of a sudden we cut to inside like the frickin' Dr. Strangelove room.
We're in the war room.
Yeah.
And the
And
Joint
there's-
Chiefs are all here and they're like, they've used the giggle gun. I'm like, whoa, slow down, movie.
The
You
giggle
didn't
Slow
say
the
anything
fuck
about a
down.
giggle gun.
The giggle gun, who apparently makes it makes people turn naked and laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gives them the gigs.
Yeah,
But
that
this
made
guy
me
don't
mad.
look happy.
Okay, this is
He's been
again,
using Brand X.
like I said, not a first
Love that
draft.
Joker.
It's a Coke draft because they start going back and forth. They're like, the giggle gun, also a hypno ray, also a giggle gun, also the hypno ray. I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa. Like, can we just pick one? Like, one thing. None of this makes any sense. Where is the ray? Do we ever see it? Do we see the giggle gun? Is the giggle gun shot through, like, a satellite or something?
And they don't explain exactly how the giggle gun works, so we just have a naked woman in the middle of the war room. Like, we have strippers in the war room laying on the table.
And they just say it's all because of that giggle gun. Also the hypno ray. Also Mr. Midnight or somebody like.
And
There's
then
some
we're
Russian
moving
plot-
around the table at all these little parody characters, and we got like a dude with an eye patch and a guy who's like,
with
nuke
a
everybody!
with a robot hand.
You're like, all right.
He's fucking Rod Steiger from Mars Attacks. This guy.
And there's one character at that table who isn't in on the gag, like the one man making sense, who's like, wait, this is all, what?
Oh yeah, the black guy, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Because all of a sudden they start singing. They sing.
We'll get to that. Let's not
Yeah,
jump
there's
ahead
a,
of that.
Yeah.
we got
Because
a little
we have
bit
a
more of
guy
a
who
build.
keeps saying, like, nuke them. He's like, we don't know who them is. We can't just drop nukes on anybody.
Yeah, he's like, you said giggle gun. I don't know what that is. I don't know where it came
He's
from.
the one guy who walked into this movie. Like, he was supposed to be an extra in a different military scene. And he's like, wait, what? You know? And then, the guy with the eye patch goes, B-52, saturation penetration. Okay.
I have no idea. Like, people are just yelling shit.
None of
It was like they're like,
I feel
okay.
like Mike during most of these movies. I'm going, what the fuck? You know, it's
Okay. It's like the director, Philippe, just sat there. He had a pile of Coke in front of him. He does a bunch of Coke and he runs around and goes, okay, guys, I think how we're going to film this scene is everybody just start yelling stuff. Okay. Just, your character thinks this, your character thinks this, and then we don't have a script. So just start saying everything you think.
Just say a line. Just say a line.
say it.
Even if it's from a different movie, just say a line.
just quote something. I don't care.
This is how chaotic it is. He's like, okay, are we ready to shoot? Because you're going to say the line and you're going to say the line. All right, ready to roll.
And suddenly, the actor playing the president in the middle of the scene becomes self-aware and just starts kind of chanting to himself. And drop this part in, audibly.
we need this
It's better than
sound.
one of
Oh my
us.
God.
reacting it.
Yes.
And he just starts saying, bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
In a song.
And it starts getting rhythmic. And as he's saying all of this, a live band is rolling in behind him. And this is the first time that we veer into like Zucker Brothers airplane shit.
Yeah.
And so it was already a goofy, weird movie. And I'm like, oh Christ, we're doing this Naked Gun shit now.
Bullshit! Bullshit! Bullshit, 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 bullshit! Bullshit! Bullshit, 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 bullshit! 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 Bull, 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 bull! Shit, 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 shit! Bullshit, 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 bullshit!
And so they break into song, and the Joint Chiefs are all doing a conga line. And the one guy, the black guy, sitting there looking at them like, you're crazy. Then he joins, and that's it. The movie's
And that's
off
when
the
we're
rails.
lost.
That's
Yeah.
We
when
had
I-
one character left who was on our side
Nope.
about
They lost me in all senses of the word.
I just kept writing, wow.
20-minute mark.
Yeah.
That's when we all got up off our couches and
Yeah.
went, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So you'd say this is the inciting incident, I guess?
This is the exciting incident.
Yeah.
The exciting incident. So the Australia police station, so Patty comes back, the lady cop. She comes in and she files her report, and the sergeant's like, oh, I don't believe you that a car flew through the air. And then all of a sudden a fucking Pac-Man sound effect plays.
I
Pac-Man
know. I was
facts.
like, what? I was looking for, like, is there an arcade or?
Well, it was weird because at this point I did not realize the movie was from 1983. I still thought it was like a 1975 movie.
So your mind getting blown?
Yeah, I was like, what? They stole the Pac-Man sound from this movie? That doesn't make
Wait,
any sense.
All this time, Pac-Man was a Captain Invincible video game?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And it was the best fax machine ever. That picture is perfect for a 1983 fax machine.
Yeah. So this
Better
wire,
than the effects in Superman.
so apparently a wire comes through the U.S. Okay, by the way, this was all decided off screen because we don't know what's going on. They get a fax saying, "Can you find this Captain Invincible?" And they're like, "This from America." And we're like, "Okay, wait, who sent this? What is this about?" And they're like, "You should go find him." And then we cut to. She just immediately knows where Captain Invincible is. She goes to his homeless camp, and he's eating beans out of a can, right?
Of course, why not?
And then he's like, yeah, I don't want any part of your plan. And then the U.S. president shows up wearing a cowboy hat in a limo, and I'm just confused as all hell. Like, this movie is moving without me.
And we get a great country song.
Oh, fuck
That's
that
true.
song.
Yeah.
So
Fuck
Alan
that.
Arkin sings, which...
He's not bad. He's not bad.
I don't think... Okay.
He's not great, but he's not. He clearly wasn't cast for his singing ability.
No.
At one point in my notes, I wrote, Alan Arkin and Christopher Lee are doing a duet. These are two people who might be okay in a duet, but not together.
Yeah.
Never together.
This is root beer and peanut butter.
Alan Arkin's trying his best, but this is... I feel like he signed on when this wasn't a musical.
Oh,
And now we're going to make it a musical, Al. It's going to be great.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, with what you told us that it wasn't a musical originally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were just like, we're already here. And Christopher Lee's like, I love to sing.
He's like, great. I've always wanted to do a singing Dracula. They never let me.
What do you think of this?
Arkin's like, I already got that mortgage. Fuck!
Do you think in the Star Wars prequels he was like, George, would you like me to sing this one? Or I feel like Count Dooku would be better.
should sing a song.
Let me sing a song to Yoda. Please? George, you can cut it, but let's just put it in there.
It's called Plight of the Gungans.
His metal band shows up.
Gungans. He's doing...
Now I want to hear a song called Plight of the Gungans.
Oh, man.
I feel like the Gungans. He's just walking in doing this.
He's just singing Flight of the Valkyrie.
Yes.
George, what do you think? George?
I think we should tone it down a bit.
He didn't show up today? Again? Oh.
He's busy rendering greens and tennis balls.
So apparently now the president shows up. They get in a fight. And he's like, no, it's me, Captain Invincible. Don't you remember me as this young boy in this picture? And he shows him the picture for when
He was a Boy
he
Scout.
grabbed that boy's shoulder, which I did think this was a good story element. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, because that boy also said to him, he goes, I'm going to be the president one day.
And he said, you can do this.
Yeah.
Like, you're
Well
going to
done.
be the president one day, and I will see you then. I will work for you when
Yeah.
you're the president.
yeah.
Well done. I'll give him that.
Yeah, there's a good movie in
Yeah,
here.
totally.
But he also didn't tell me. It's
You
like,
got to swim through a river of shit to get to the other side.
where were you born, kid? Australia? You're out. Can't be president.
You could be anything you want to be, Australian kid.
Bobby Trivet swam through a river of shit to watch a good movie. It was not.
The Shaw shit redemption.
So wait, there's a part where the president proves who he is by showing him his shoulder.
And
There's a magical, mystical bond.
yeah, he says, I wrote down the quote, the mystic mark, a sacred bond that can't be broken.
What?
And I gotta say this, maybe I'm alone here. Maybe I'm on an island. There was a weird sexual tension in this scene.
Yes.
As the president's
Yeah.
like
Yes.
slowly peeling off his shirt, I'm like, are they gonna fuck?
When it
Because
showed
this
him,
is not okay.
when it showed him grab that kid's shoulder, I'm like, oh no, is this why he gets in trouble?
Oh no, not back then.
No, but I was just like, oh,
why you gotta take it there?
No, we're not thinking that. No,
Nobody was thinking that, Mike.
No.
I was
I'm
worried.
gonna entertain this.
It's okay for middle-aged men
worried.
to
Yes.
touch small children.
Yeah.
Around.
Grab him hard on the shoulder.
It's very Greek.
Until the celery breaks.
I'm fine with Alan Arkin getting close with an
You're
old
going to be very
Australian
strong, Billy. I can feel it in your shoulders. You're
Oh,
tense.
man. He shows him this mystical mark, which, by the way, is about a 5-minute scene of the president getting undressed.
That's what I'm
It goes
saying.
on for a long time.
That's because somebody broke his celery, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little Marvin Gaye playing in the background.
You broke my celery at a young age, Captain Invincible. Let me show it to you. God. So
Can you please point on the doll where he broke your celery?
this is how he's able to convince him to come back. He's like,
They've made a
Look,
doll, a rudimentary doll out of celery.
Yeah.
like,
And they're
I
like,
didn't,
just go ahead and crack the spot.
I didn't want to bring this up, but you're gonna have to help us. Because you and I both know. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah. Where's this bad guy? And so then they're flying in front of a projector screen. Don't worry, guys, because it is a projector screen.
Man,
Okay?
into the green.
Hey.
Thank you. Good night.
Apparently, Captain Invincible doesn't know how to be a superhero anymore.
He's lost his smile.
Yeah. He needs to get it
Gotta
back.
shoehorn one into every episode.
He's airsick or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really bad. And so Patty comes in and she's like, I found your old suit and gadgets. And
And this was a good opportunity to update the look.
nope.
Nope.
So then they do a bunch of tests again.
Fucking Big Bird feet on his shoulders again.
And he's got all these like stupid gadgets.
Fucking
Like
Birdman helmet.
Yeah. God. He yells the words into the blue, which is supposed to mean
Activates any of his powers.
Yeah, it's supposed to mean he can fly, because then he's also says something like magic magnet or something.
Magneton.
Yeah,
That's what it
magnet
is.
on.
That's his
So
flame on.
he's got 3 superpowers: flight, which is into the blue.
Yeah.
Magnetism, but that just turns him into a magnet.
Yeah.
Which is magnet on, and then he's got his supercomputer brain, which he says something I forget.
What was the phrase for the supercomputer
Yeah.
brain? Anybody got that?
Go
Coke
supercomputer
nose.
brain.
Go Coke nose.
But anyway, we did like the
That's
supercomputer
the
brain
one.
was not mentioned until this scene.
Yeah.
No, and
it
also,
didn't come up in the newsreels or anything else.
And for a moment, you're like, wait, what?
yeah,
They
like,
should just
what?
call it the plot. Like, because that's all it really does.
His
It's
plot
just-
magic?
Yeah, his exposition brain.
And we get real Leslie Nielsen with his magnet powers when he finally activates them, because
Oh,
it takes
boy.
every belt buckle, every button, any piece of loose metal or non-magnetic material flies to his person.
Just all the women's shirts come off,
Yeah.
and everybody's in their
Everybody's
underwear.
clothes, including a gag of one man is wearing lingerie underneath his outfit. And a gun that flew out of a holster stuck itself to his temple.
And I was hoping,
I almost laughed at that joke. Almost.
That almost got you.
yeah.
I think there was one joke I laughed at. In this
There is
movie.
one, and I can't wait to talk about it because I lost my shit.
Was it a guy with shoes on his knees pretending he was very short?
Bobby is referencing a Patreon-only episode, which is the Dorf on Golfing
Just
episode.
a little tease. Go ahead. $2 gets you that
$2
episode.
a month. Tanner, you're at the check it out tier for $2.
Yeah, not for long, but
Now that he's checked it out.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. I'll always give you guys my $2.
Is it worth it?
Oh, it's so worth it.
No, it's not.
There's so the Whoops episode, the Home Alone, which I just listened to for this week, and I really enjoyed that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm out.
So are we.
No, wait. What other Patreon? What other?
We just
mini
posted
bins?
Hell, Honey, I'm Home a couple
I have
weeks
not.
ago.
I've not listened to that one yet.
So this is a good... And Dorf on Golf, which will be up by the time this episode's up.
That's going to be a terrible episode. I'm on it.
Yeah, let's just say this episode brought
crashed
to you
that
by
episode. I crashed it.
Patreon, grindbin.com, like patreon.com/grindbin. $2 a month. Check it out.
Now back to our episode.
So, guys, we go back to Midnight's lair, and this doesn't make any sense. They're just like, oh, something fishy's going on.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Does
it.
this start the gag of him feeding a thing to a pet?
Yeah, he like feeds
A slug to a frog?
Okay, a slug to a frog.
That's how it starts,
Yeah.
and then it escalates throughout the movie.
So then we go back to the Captain and Patty, and apparently Captain Invincible was so drunk and out of it, he didn't realize he was in Australia.
Who hasn't been there?
Yeah,
You wake
she's
up
just
down
like,
under?
we're in downtown Sydney, and he's like, the fuck? He goes, I thought this was just a shitty part of New York. Fuck
Hey,
me.
Sydney is the Manhattan of Australia.
Yeah, but that's what he says. He's like,
Yeah.
I just thought I was in the fucking
Yeah.
slums. I
Yeah.
mean, where am I?
Where the fuck
I
has
like
he
that
been?
they're
Like,
at the Sydney Opera House.
Yeah,
and
he's
it
like, you
says
call this an opera house?
Yeah.
This shithole.
Look at this dirty piece of shit. Goddamn origami.
You can faintly hear Christopher Lee inside the opera house.
I'm ready, George.
Gungans.
Back to the Gungans.
So then he has some weird freak out where he imagines all this crazy shit going on, like because she goes back to his place, and then the next thing we see is he has some sort of like acid flashback where he bites the corner of a fucking counter off.
They go back to her apartment, right? And she's got the booze out,
Yeah.
and so he's having his booze withdrawals.
It freaks him out. It's his Niagara Falls.
Yeah, so a flashback.
Yeah. Where
And
like
he curb stomps himself on a desk.
He literally bites the corner of a
Yeah, he's just gnawing on it
Of a
like
counter.
like a beaver at
Like-
a cartoon.
Formica counter. And then he's imagining a giant lizard, UFO, Hitler. Then he sees Mr. Midnight at the end, and then all of a sudden
he was hanging out with Walken in Communion.
yeah. And then the cop comes in, so Patty's like, hey, are you okay? And then he just starts, he kiss rapes her.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, it's like, whoa, slow down, man.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I don't really know you.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, sorry, it's those magic powers.
And his magnetic abilities go out of whack when he becomes, when he notices that booty, if you will. It seems that the poles have affected.
Yeah, so here's the thing is like, I'm not saying that the lady's not attractive or anything, but she's wearing like mom jeans.
Yeah.
Don't be a Hughes about this.
No. I'm just saying it's just like she's wearing like Old Navy jeans.
What's wrong with that?
Like, just like baggy old like mom jeans, and she bends over and it's like you can barely even see the outline of a butt.
Hey,
Yeah,
you know
but
what?
also he's been a drunk homeless man for decades at this point.
I just
And
thought
I
I'm
don't
sure if
think,
he looked at like an apple, he'd probably get a boner.
I'm sure man could back me up on this. Mike, you haven't spent enough time waiting in lines at Disneyland. There are some people who can rock the mom jeans.
Yeah, it's true.
Anyways, this was just weird because at first when he started freaking out, I was like, oh, it's because of her butt? Like I didn't get it at first. I was like, oh, that was weird.
This is the earliest instance of booty had me like.
So yeah, I don't mean to Hughes it, but I just was like, huh.
But she's too old and not hot enough.
No, I did not
That's what
say
he's
that.
saying.
They're called fetishes.
Mike Wood says, not a good enough ass to affect his magnetic ability.
By the way, there's a movie out right now. It's up for Best Picture. I'm not going to say which one, but I'd say the title of it should be called It's Called Fetishes.
Get out.
Actually, that's kind of a theme this year,
Actually,
now that
that's-
I think about it.
Yeah.
There's actually quite a few movies. But no one I saw particularly last weekend that was It's Called Fetishes.
Are we talking
billboards.
about Dolphin Fucker?
No.
Is that a Bronson?
No. Yeah, where Bronson sticks it in Quasimodo.
When Guillermo del Toro made a Bobcat Goldthwait film,
So
and everyone
guys,
sucked his dick about it.
she asked him how he became Captain Invincible. Cut to a flashback where apparently his dad was fucking some lady in front of the Washington
I
Monument
think
or
that
something.
lady would be his mom.
Well, yeah,
His dad is
Yeah.
fucking some lady. I don't know who she
sorry.
is. She's
I-
not
I
important
wrote
to the
the-
story.
This is a Tanner Clues.
You're right, Tanner. I'm wrong. I
Maybe that's his parents.
because I thought this was Captain Invincible at
Oh,
first.
same here.
I wrote because Captain Invincible's fucking some lady, and then you're right, it's his parents. So
Which,
his
by the way,
parents,
that establishes that this superhero's origin story is aliens watched his parents fuck.
like where the Washington Monument is, or the Lincoln
They were
Memorial,
having
or
sex
something.
outdoors by the Washington
But what
Monument, and
gets-
aliens just watched it happen.
I did like that they put enough thought to put them in old timey, like, because he would have been born in the 20s, so they're in old timey clothes. I'm like, oh, this is a nice touch. So you guys paid
Yeah.
attention.
I mean,
to
one
that.
could see more turned on a fuck than a giant statue of a dick.
I mean, this was a very odd place
is-
to fuck in public.
Yeah.
Like, of all things, the
in
National Mall.
1918.
Like Mr. Invincible looked over at Mrs. Invincible and said, "It's kind of like that." And she's like, "Prove it."
Then they fucked in a field. Kind of like that
Yeah.
tattoo in White Lightning, you know, real American style. And then UFOs, like a UFO shows up and the aliens are like dry humping the air
They're just
while
like,
it's
yeah,
going on.
get it.
Yeah, they're watching it.
And-
But you notice who was,
Aliens, they like to watch.
among the aliens? Julius. Mr. Midnight's alien sidekick was with the aliens.
Holy fuck, Fraggle Rock was
I
there?
honestly
Fraggle-
did not catch this.
You didn't catch that? Julius is on the right.
This is a
in the
Tanner
group
tip.
of- Wow, you guys gotta
God.
watch these movies,
A
man.
Tanner tip for sure.
Tanner tips.
We got Tanner tips. Just the tip from Tanner.
Yeah. I give the best tip. Because that's all you're going to get.
Yep.
He gives us $2.
Yep.
It's a $2 tip from Tanner.
We know it was good because the woman says, well, his mom says it was, quote, out of this world. Right?
Ah.
Then we cut to the hospital, and the baby is on the ceiling saying, "Into the blue." So that's Captain Invincible. Because I thought he was the guy fucking the lady.
Same
like, I
here.
thought
Until,
that
yeah.
they were just like, no, we're going to make this man a superhero because, goddamn, that's patriotic. I think
Mr.
if
Invincible is my father.
I almost think like if you fuck in the National Mall, they might just let it go. They might be like, you know what? Yeah.
You know what? You're
Well,
in
now,
America.
yeah.
Why don't you, all right, we're gonna do a little Grindbin exclusive. You go test that.
Have you ever laid down on the grass before the monument, just like take pictures where it looks like you have a giant erection? It's amazing.
No, I did that with
It's
the Leaning Tower of
hilarious.
Pisa though.
And there's
That's even better.
Mine's a little to the side.
Let's
Yeah, I
get
do
the
it at the
girth,
Capitol
though.
Records building.
I did that at the Epcot Center. I'm like, something's wrong.
A little inflamed there, huh?
Wait, do you think women do that to try to like angle it to make it look like their boobs or the Epcot Center?
Absolutely not.
No.
Only men are that stupid.
There's never been a woman in history.
Tweet at GrindPod at Twitter to enter the question.
Maybe a Grindbin.
Come on, ladies.
Oh,
At the
God.
Grindbin, take your Epcot booby pictures.
Oh, no.
Do not do that. No. No.
Let's slide into DMs.
Too many Tanner tips.
Oh, God. Tanner. It was supposed to be just the tip, Tanner.
Not the full monument.
We go to the Cop and Patty. There's a Patty and Captain. Another song.
God damn it.
It's all right.
Which song is that?
Just when she sings to him, she's like,
Oh,
"You'll
it's
be a
her song, which is
Superman
awful.
again!"
Yeah.
Yay! Cut to it's not a Rocky Horror one.
It is not a Rocky
Because
Horror
it is
one.
not of quality.
No.
And
It's like Olivia Newton-John.
I think it ends because even Captain Invincible's had enough.
Yeah, he does kind of cut it down.
Yeah, he scratches a record. He's like, "Yeah, I'll do it."
I'll be honest, I smirked a little at that. At him being like, nope, and lifting the record needle, and then the song just stops.
It was like one of those things where you're like, it's trying to break through that smile, and you're like, nope.
Yeah, there's just
Don't
a
do
twitch,
it, Bobby.
twitch
Don't
in
do
the
it.
corner of my mouth.
Were you watching with this with your wife, and she's just watching you to make sure you don't smile? Bobby?
Yeah.
Bobby?
Oh, you get the look, too?
My wife's sitting next to me looking like Judge Dredd. Just holding that frown. Wearing a helmet.
She's got the divorce papers in her hand, ready.
Dude, I get the head tilt in the look. Like, it's it's like, I better not. Like, you're trying, like trying to hold it in as hard
Because
as
at the end of the day, I'm a fucking dumbass. There is some stuff I'm gonna go too, but not while she's in the room. I gotta treat this like a Dorf tape.
Oh, I know.
Gotta hide that dwarf tape.
My wife looked at me and she said, "I regret wanting to spend time with you tonight."
Whoa. She's like, Taylor, we only have so many nights a week.
Yeah.
All
She's
7
like,
of them.
I should have gone out.
So we go to the captain test. They're having a test in front of these people with some. So this is what's just his computer brain reads the exposition.
This is the dumbest scene in this
He's
film.
just like, hey, guess what? It's
And by the way, his
Mr. Midnight.
his computer powers consist of him doing like a Johnny 5 speed read while wearing 3D glasses.
Yeah.
Yep. And then he says, "It's Mr. Midnight, everybody." And yeah,
And his computer brain gets stuck.
yeah,
And
he
they have to
starts
like
talking
bonk
all
him on the
high-pitched.
head a bunch of times.
And he does like chipmunk.
Chipmunk voice.
How do you auto-tune yourself? That was awesome.
Yeah.
Chipmunk.
So he rams his head through a wall, and yeah, it's done.
Another Blade
It's
Runner
Mr.
reference?
Midnight, everybody. It's
Gonna have to
Mr.
kill ya.
Midnight. Which, by the way, they say at some point they're like, he never mentioned Mr. Midnight, but I think he does here. I think he fucking does here. So we go to a vacuum shop.
Here we
Good
go.
fucking Lord.
Strap in, Dyson fans.
So what happens is, yeah, big Dyson fan scene here.
It's called fetishes, Mike.
Yeah.
There's a big Hoover poster in the background. I'm like, you think the Hoover people were all in on it? They're like, yes, please. We've been waiting for somebody to have a vacuum killer in a movie. Thank God. It only took the Australians.
So this is essentially the meat market scene from Dead Heat.
Yeah.
Everything, all the vacuums suddenly come to life in this vacuum repair shop that they're in. To which the cop says, "This really sucks."
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Vacuums attack. That's what I write. That's it. She shoots the vacuums, though, like Bronson. And that's when I
respect
started
this.
thinking, can you imagine if Charles Bronson was in a scene where vacuums attacked him? How the fuck would he handle that on set? And he goes, you want me to what?
It's got a gun.
Blammo! Could you imagine Philippe trying to convince Charles Bronson? He's like, "You're gonna be a superhero, Charles. You're gonna be a superhero. You're gonna be like a big guy." And he's like, "Yeah, no."
Charles Bronson in the Captain Invincible outfit, but he's still drawing a gun on everything.
Goes, but this Christopher Lee role that really appeals to me. The whole cleanse thing and that. I mean, that was kind of what I was trying to do in Death Wish. You know, kind of just cleanse the streets.
I want that, though. I want Bronson in a room full of vacuum cleaners just opening fire. It looks like dirt's not the only thing going home in a bag.
Bobby, honestly, better than what he was shooting in Death Wish.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather him be shooting vacuum cleaners.
I'd also rather Charles Bronson shooting vacuum cleaners than watching this new Death Wish.
He took my wallet. One of the vacuum cleaners just gets a wallet out of the back pocket. Now that would have been a good
Oh,
joke.
the little hose attachment like snakes around his back pocket.
Now that's a joke.
That's
Come
a
on.
fed.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so it ends. They're fighting vacuums. Then we go back to the base.
Of course, during that, he yells "magnet on" and he starts to float into the air because his powers are confused. Sure,
Yeah.
why not? And the vacuums pull the buttons off her shirt because sure.
Oh yeah,
we need
yeah.
that.
We got to see her.
Mom
I know,
bustier.
yeah, Mom Bustier. Yeah. So then we go back to like the military base, and all these people have been struck by the. Oh no, sorry. We go back to like the Captain Invincible cop base that they made, and the people are all struck by the giggle ray, and they're laughing.
They've all
And
taken
then,
Smilex.
Again, the movie starts moving without you because Captain Invincible's like, "We've been framed." I'm like, "But how?"
And by what?
Because what going
What did they
on?
think you
Yeah.
did?
Yeah, what? Wait, stop. No.
Especially if it's the giggle ray is the frame job because that was established before Captain Invincible came back.
Yeah, no, they
Right.
just
So
Right.
there's already a precedence for somebody using a giggle ray that
Yes.
not him.
The caboose is in front of the locomotive.
Yeah.
At this point.
But no, they just fly out of the building and they just fly and fly.
So now they got to lay low.
Yeah. Which is
It involves disguises.
okay, but before that we get shitty green screen, right? Then we
course.
cut to Christopher Lee, and at this point he's watching a video of a monkey and telling the Fraggle Rock guy not to be upset because you're more advanced than this, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
You're more advanced than the people at Fraggle Rock.
Yeah, he's like, no, don't be intimidated. I want you to
Better
watch
than a
this.
monkey. Better than these doozers.
It's like, what is he doing? He's just like, sit down. I want you to see this. And then he turns this on, and he's like, look, you're better than that. I'm like,
talk.
okay, this is a movie that's not with us. Like, you're making something beyond the realm. Like, I don't know if we have to go in one bag deep.
I think Beyond the Realm was one of his black metal songs.
Title track.
Oh, and then he feeds, I believe, the frog to a snake.
Yeah.
To keep with the escalation of the pet thing.
And then some guy calls in, and we watch about 3 minutes of Christopher Lee on the phone.
Why
going
not?
like, how's my immigration plan going? Sounds great. Is this the plot of the movie? Okay. And then hangs up, and we're like, huh. Then we just go to disguises.
And great job on the disguises. They
Yeah.
have the same disguises as the Ninja Turtles.
Glad you saw
they
that
look
too.
like Raphael.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all dressed like the Thing when he goes out of the house.
Yeah, just this coat and hat.
Yeah.
That'll
That's it.
disguise
Just
me.
just the gray Carmen Sandiego get up.
Hey, you know, it worked for Carmen. Okay, she
true.
hit all over the world. She hit in time. Nobody could find her.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know.
It's all about the jacket.
So they're like 5-year-olds.
Yeah. Like this
it's
is something
almost-
the Little Rascals would do.
Yeah, it's almost like Alan Arkin should have had a fucking press badge. You know, like a little piece of paper that wrote "press" in his hat.
I wish they were in one jacket and she was on his shoulders.
We're continuing the We're continuing the Sesame Street thing. He has Big Bird's feet on his shoulders, and then he's dressed like Kermit the Frog.
I mean, here's the thing. It's a case of it didn't go far enough. Like, this is the thing I think most of the time when we discuss these movies, it's like, it just tries to straddle the line too much. It's like, if you're going to be wacky, you got to be wacky.
I mean, like a stack of cats in a shirt. Wacky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, just go for it.
Yeah.
Wacky as a stack of cats.
Because half-assed is not funny. It's just like, what am I watching?
Yeah.
We encounter this so often in these films we cover as people who don't quite take it there where it
No.
needs to go. It's just like they
like-
pull short just at the end.
They're like, I don't want it to be too goofy. Because, you know, then and it's like, well, now nobody's happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've made something for no one.
So we're on a horribly like okay. So this, by the way, this scene is like a. I mean, I've seen stage plays with
Yeah.
better sets.
It took me forever to figure out they were supposed to be on a train car, like a subway car.
I thought
Oh,
it was
yeah.
a bus.
Yeah. Well, I think that's who knows.
The world will never know.
Yeah.
You sound like the director.
It is whatever you want it to be.
I don't know, Alan.
Theater of the imagination.
Why do you ask so many questions?
What's
Why
all
you
this?
just
You
fucking
got,
do
you got a
the
bunch
movie?
of powder. You been eating donuts?
I'm fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm going out for donuts again.
Look, Alan, I'm gonna say fucking action and just roll and say lines, whatever is written on the paper. Okay? We're just gonna make this movie, but it doesn't make any sense. I don't want to hear it.
You're the lead actor, not the lead questioner.
And so, yeah, that's why I think the producer had to, at some point, be like, "Oh, we need to fix this shit
We
because Sousa
should
gave us
add
something."
music.
I don't know what. You know what? This is it. Sousa gave them the Coke draft.
Yeah.
because they only paid him like minimum. I
Yeah.
mean, they were like, "Can you write a movie for us?" And he's like, "Sure, I'll deliver it in a couple weeks," and gives them this draft. And then he's like, "Okay, well, I'll be waiting for the next payment." And they're like, "Oh, oh, no, don't worry, I got it."
So we need to get this 150% tax break from Australia.
Yeah.
And we gotta wait for that to clear.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a gaddy joint now. Yeah, I think I got it. So basically what happens is they sing a new song, and we cut between the captain and Patty on the bus or train singing, and Christopher
Lee doing a spoken word on the set of a Paula Abdul video.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lovely.
I thought the Cold-Hearted Snake video was being shot while he was just talking to the camera.
Women in bondage?
I was like, what is this Bob Fosse
Yeah.
shit?
Oh, yeah.
And he's giving it his all. Christopher Lee, as you'll hear on the sound clip we play, just going for it.
Long before the crack of doom, there was evil in the air. Long before we left the womb, there was evil everywhere.
Long before the truth was found, evil used to cruise around. Believe me, it's a one-way ride from midnight.
So then Captain and Patty, which, by the way, the first of two duets by Christopher Lee and Alan Arkin, what everybody always wanted. Them together, singing on stage. You think they ever brought the band back together?
Just on the side.
Ellen, I think we should do a tour. A little Captain Invincible midnight tour.
Midnight
I don't know
tour.
if that's a good idea, Chris.
Especially on a Tuesday night.
We could take Broadway.
I like picturing Alan Arkin and Christopher Lee in like 2008 in a garage. just holding
More
guitars.
bass, Chris. More bass.
You know, Ellen, I think I'm going to get another band. I'm sorry. I don't think this is working out.
You do whatever.
Did they ever officially release a soundtrack of this? I highly doubt it.
I'm sure they did. A #1 hit in Australia. I don't know.
Next to
The Rocky
If it
Horror
exists,
people.
I'm getting it.
Yeah.
There was at one point when I write, they really thought this was going to be the next Rocky
Oh,
Horror,
I'm sure
but
they
it
did.
wasn't.
No.
It was not. So Captain and Patty, they're flying around Sydney for minutes until another damn song starts. And I write, they've gotten so lazy, they just decided to start throwing songs in the movie because it's going nowhere. They're like, we need to fill the 20 pages that Sousa didn't write.
Yeah.
Write a song.
It's so obvious.
I do like that she's riding him side saddle. Because like, when you think about it, like if she's either going to be piggyback style or like carried underneath, but like that's not comfortable long term. So she's just sitting side saddle, riding him like a horse
With a parasol.
Yeah.
So then we go to midnight in his lair, and I write, well, this is amazing. Is that so? His lair is a giant, so him and the guy from Enter the Ninja have a lot in common because they both got their indoor pools for their lair.
Oh, he's like Venarius.
Yeah, and Christopher Lee has a pool with floating islands on it. This is New York City.
Oh my god.
And
It was the coolest set piece though. I loved
yes,
it.
he's playing around. He's like, I'm going to bomb New York. And he's just playing with his toys and G.I. Joes on it. And
No, it's not
everything.
playing with my dolls again.
And they cut over to Fraggle Rock in a guts raft.
rowing around the little pool.
He looks like he's ready for guts. Michael Malley's going to be like, hey, we go. And he says something. He's like, come over here, Julius. Come here. And then we watch him try to paddle for 2 minutes. And this is when I realized, I'm like, well, at least Christopher Lee's having fun. He
Honestly,
really is
I think that's
enjoying
all this
this.
was about for him.
Yeah.
He read the script and went, oh, for fuck's sake.
Do you think he was like,
Did it.
can I have a Muppet? They never let me in those Muppet movies, but I've always wanted one. Could I have one?
a Muppet.
This set is it's like his bathtub and this is his rubber duck.
Yeah. Yeah, I could just see Christopher Lee just being like, all right, well, the only way I'm doing this is 1, I get a Muppet, and 2, there's a scene where I'm in a pool.
You
A
get the
knee-high
feeling.
pool.
You get the feeling that he threw some of his lines just so they'd have to do another day of shooting in this set. I don't know why I keep getting it wrong.
Oh, nobody checked the gate?
Dreadful. I guess we'll be back at it tomorrow then.
Can we get him a raft? I think it would be great. Film that more, Philippe. Get a couple minutes.
I'd like to try something. Can you imagine? I'm gonna open this up a bit.
This was when
play
the
with
American
it.
distributor recut it. There's fucking 5 minutes of this thing in a raft.
Wait, now he's in the raft?
All right, we don't need 5 minutes of Christopher and this Muppet playing grab ass. Okay, this is, I don't know what the fuck I'm watching.
I feel we need a duet.
I don't know how this is flying in Australia. Like, you guys are fucked. But here in America, this shit don't fly.
Raft in my bathtub, raft in my bathtub.
That's the only way he knows how to sing. I now love it.
Can you imagine him? He's like, where's the bubbles? You didn't get the jets? Oh, well. So apparently his plan is to somehow he goes on a long manifesto about he's like, and then I'll cleanse New York City of all the races.
Hey, kind of monologues like a supervillain.
And they will take me in their arms and bring me to the White House. And I'm like, okay.
Makes sense.
That's the
Sounds good.
plan. He by the way, he was a Nazi. Because in the beginning, it did show him behind Hitler. That's right. Like, there's a scene where Christopher Lee allowed himself to be behind Hitler, like, Forrest Gump, where Tom Hanks is
They
near
gumped him.
JFK. Yeah, they gumped him behind Hitler.
Ian McKellen never would have stood for that shit.
Philippe, is there a scene where I could be behind Hitler? I've always thought that would be a great little thing,
Don't be very villainous.
Who's the most evil? Hitler.
I want to be second most evil. Put me behind him.
So then we go to the White House. The cabinet's telling the president they're screwed because they don't like the captain. That's it. He goes like, no, I believe him, mate. And that's it.
Fair, we don't like the captain either.
Yeah,
so
nobody likes him.
No.
And he's like, all right, we'll give him 24 hours. So the Statue of Liberty head, and this is where I lost it, because I said, you know what? Fuck this. Fuck this shit, because another movie I hate
I was waiting for this.
also
I
ends
was
in the
waiting for
goddamn
this.
Statue of Liberty. This and Ghostbusters 2 have a lot in common.
I knew it. Oh, I should have put money on this
I think
one.
I'm talking about X-Men from
Should have
2000.
fucking put money on this.
So I'll just say this. If your movie ends in a Statue of Liberty head, watch out. Watch the fuck out. Do you think this is where Ghostbusters 2 got the idea?
Probably.
They're like, oh, this would be great. We'll
Probably.
just control it like a Nintendo.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I
with
love
that
it.
Goddamn NES Advantage.
I love that part.
We'll give Winston something to do. He could drive the Statue of Liberty.
Actually, he doesn't even get to drive it.
Nope.
Ray gets to drive it.
Not have done that.
You think he was supposed to on set? He's like, all right, finally, I'm going to get to drive it. And then Dan Aykroyd comes in and goes, no. Come on, what are you doing? It's my movie. So this is apparently where Captain lives.
Yeah, he's got a studio apartment in the Statue of Liberty's head.
Yeah.
And it looks like one.
This is when we get him talking to FDR.
And I realized something. The Cloverfield monster must have seen this movie. That's why its first order of business was this fucking Statue of Liberty head.
Yeah. That or it knows that in Ghostbusters 2 you can use it as a sentient being, and Statue of Liberty versus Cloverfield, who's going to win? Probably Statue of Liberty.
Everyone?
So. If only, Bobby. Well, you never know, because we're getting more Cloverfield.
There's always the fanfic forums. Yeah, but the Cloverfield movies have nothing to do with each other. So
Yeah. But if you don't think there's one where the Statue of Liberty is going to start driving around, you're wrong.
we'll get there.
So he rambles on for a while, nothing happens, and then he's just like, oh, hey, I know how the movie ends. And then that's basically what happens, is he calls the president, and he goes like, hey, it's this guy, Mr. Midnight, I'm going to go get him. And then the president hangs up, and he's like, yeah, I don't know either. To the cabinet, they're like, what's going on? He's like, fuck if I know. This guy's crazy. I think you guys are right.
They only gave Arkin the end of the script. I don't know what's happening.
So then the captain and a cop walk into a deli. That's how this joke starts.
My favorite part is coming up.
This is another thing out of Dead Heat. Like, this is really... I never thought I'd say this, but at this point I realized this movie would have been better with Joe Piscopo.
You could say that about every movie, though, Bobby.
I know, but this same movie, but it's Joe Piscopo filling out that superhero suit.
Yeah. Him or Dice Clay, I could really say.
God.
So they go into this deli, and apparently it's Mr. Midnight's deli.
And Captain Invincible knows. So he orders. He's like, I want a Reuben, blah, blah, blah. And information about Mr. Midnight. And the deli counter guy's like, I don't know anything. There's a little bit of back and forth. And there's a Inglourious Bastards tell of the deli guy doing the sandwich wrong because he's putting mayo.
Yeah.
oh, you don't put mayo.
Yeah, what the fuck?
So Captain
man?
Invincible knows what's up.
That's right.
And so the deli counter guy goes, well, how about some gefilte fish? And he takes out a machine gun in the shape of a giant fish.
Love it.
I lost my shit.
Yeah.
That is the only time this movie made me laugh.
I legit
gonna lie,
thought
I'm
that was
with
funny.
you.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good. And then there's a shootout in the
Yeah, I thought that fish gun
Oive
was funny.
Corral.
Hey, yeah.
Tanner, my man.
Justin,
boy.
Justin.
Mic drop.
Under the buzzer.
He's left. He's gone.
Mike
He's out.
drop Tanner.
I would have loved it if you just put down the mic.
If you literally did, you just walked out. You did like a breakfast club in the doorway, held it for a couple of seconds, and then walked out.
Oh, there was also a guy with a hot dog chain gun.
That I did not laugh at.
Honestly, that's when, all right, you had a good thing, and you fucked it up.
Yep. Because it shoots hot dogs.
A hot dog
the
chain
gefilte
gun.
fish machine gun was a gun that shot bullets. Don't have a hot dog cannon that just shoots hot dogs.
Bang, 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 banana gun.
I was saying, though, that as a customer, I would love it if I got to put my bun in front of a hot dog machine gun. And then just
Or if you
fire.
caught it, if you just had your bun and you had to catch it.
We're going to go ahead and isolate that quote.
Wait, you didn't like? You
We're
wouldn't
putting
like
that into the theme
I
song.
would love to put my bun up to a fish.
There's nothing better than having a hot dog gun up to your bun.
Pull the trigger really hard.
You know, I'm comfortable with
Better
it.
watch out for that recoil.
I am too. I just want, it's
Yeah, we're not judging.
No, just not my Tuesday night.
So
You
a
do
hot
you.
dog chain gun is what we got, like a Duke Nukem hot dog gun.
God.
Uh-huh. And
that is a Duke Nukem
then
weapon.
it
So is.
falls in. It's just a Duke Nukem gun. Yeah. By the way, did you see they're making a Duke Nukem movie?
Yeah.
John Cena.
You can't
With
see this
John
movie.
Cena.
No.
As Duke
You know who's
Nukem.
totally not right for Duke Nukem?
John Cena.
He's literally just because he's a muscular dude with a high and tight haircut. That's all he's got
Oh,
going
by
for
the
him.
way, directed by Michael Bay.
Shut up. Get the fuck out. No.
Yes.
I'd rather see it was Oy Bowl. I'd rather see that.
What's amazing about that is literally every detail you just shared is past its relevance.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
seriously.
it's like,
Oh, yeah.
why a Duke Nukem movie now? We're still trying with John Cena. Michael fucking Bay?
Yeah.
So
Really?
my wife read that to me last night, and she said, again, like you said, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Like just, I'm like, what? They're
Man.
making a Duke Nukem movie? Oh,
I'm going to go ahead and put this out here right now. No, they're not.
It's going to be like the
You
Gambit
announce
movie.
shit all the time.
Never gonna get
and
made.
that never happens.
I don't know, man.
It's not going to happen.
Or they put The Rock
We're
as
not
Duke,
getting
then they're
Killer
going to make
Clowns
it
2.
for sure.
We're not getting
Hey.
John Cena as Duke Nukem.
Man is right. We did get The Rock in Doom, so we can get anything.
But
Bobby.
that's still when he was The Rock, before it was Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
Like,
They're going to
so
probably...
I guess like John Cena is not a Dwayne Johnson.
Star
so,
of Ferdinand,
you know.
John Cena.
Oscar nominated Ferdinand.
Man, John Cena. He's going to run around like Owen Hart with his Slammy Award. He's going to salute the Oscar statue every time he comes out to the ring.
So this fight devolves into a food fight with pies being thrown, and it ends.
And the Three Stooges run through.
Oh yeah, there's fucking Eddie D's and Boings, and then
It's
fuck this. I don't know if you caught this joke. The worst joke in the movie. It ends because he throws a literal pie sign, like pie PI
Right.
sign,
did not catch
3.14. He throws it at him, and that's how the fight ends because he throws a pie symbol at the guy.
And then they do the Scooby Doo reveal as the mask comes off.
It's who cares?
Well,
It's like his head got sliced by the meat slicer. I'm like, no, it didn't.
No.
Didn't
Not
even,
really.
He wasn't even close
And
to
then
it.
she points out he's not old. And then Arkin checks his package. It goes, he's not Jewish either.
Zing.
Did you miss that?
No, I got
okay.
it. I'm just.
You're kind of
I
dead
just
staring
didn't
at me.
care.
Yeah. Bobby's expecting a laugh for repeating a joke in this.
Not a
movie.
laugh. Just acknowledgement that I spoke to you is all I'm looking for.
So then
You looked like you left. You were running through a field.
Oh, trust me, I have. So Captain
His leg was
Sings,
twitching. I think he's dreaming.
he falls down a tube.
Yeah, so did we.
Then it just goes to he's now with Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee and him fight.
There's before we steamroll it, there's he has to fight some goons, Adam West Batman style, and at one point you get to watch Alan Arkin stuff a little person in a trash can.
Yep.
Was it Dorf?
Yeah, with Tim Conway.
Yeah.
Then it goes to this room. We never get to see the Hypno Ray. We never get to see the Giggle Gun. Even though Alan Arkin says, "Can you please give me the Hypno Ray?" And he goes, "No, we didn't build that set." Alan, That's not in the script. Wouldn't that be great if he showed up and he goes, Midnight, can you give me the giggle gun or the hypno ray? He goes, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah, page 10.
Huh? No. This is about genocide. I'm trying to get all the Jews to live in a town. You got the wrong guy, Alan.
I'm not trying to get them to giggle.
Yeah, what? That would have been a great ending of this movie. He goes, No, I have a totally different plan. We're not in the same movie.
Are we doing this now, or should we reschedule?
He's like, do one of your goons have a gefilte fish gun? He's like, what? No.
Oh, Philippe? Hello?
Did you say gefilte fish?
So he opens this thing, and it's a bar, and he's like, I know your weakness.
That's a great musical number.
This is what I wrote. They really thought this was the Australian Rocky Horror. They're like, you got Tim Curry,
including
we got Christopher Lee.
And it has a line during that song that he says, if you don't name your poison, I'll have to get the boys in. And doesn't that usually happen after?
So it ends.
So it goes.
Captain Invincible getting in the fetal position. And then, of course, it goes back to the fucking Statue of Liberty head. And, of course, they play music through it, just like they do in fucking Ghostbusters,
Is it higher and higher?
Yeah, but higher and higher. And he's like, oh, yeah.
And it's worth noting that he vanquishes Mr. Midnight by dropping a globe on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there is a weird part where Christopher Lee goes, here, eat this. And he hands him a sterno.
Well, because I got that because homeless drunks they will drink anything, get fucked up, and Sterno does have alcohol. So I'm like, he's like, oh, you've fallen so low, you will drink this bum juice.
That is a deep cut, man. Bum juice. Sterno, also known as bum juice. Also not the cheapest form of alcohol, I'd say, unless they're sitting outside catering events, just going like, you gonna use that Sterno or?
Is that all used up?
Just leave that here.
I'll take any of that leftover chicken too.
Taylor come back. Is that what
Oh, God. They should have had Alan Arkin and Alan Alda in a movie together. Like, just the Allens, the odd couple.
That seems like it would have been a 1989 sitcom.
Yeah.
Alan Alda, Alan Arkin.
That show is just called Alan? With a question mark?
Alan to Ellen.
They were married to the same woman and didn't know it. Then she died and left them one house that they both have to share.
Oh,
There's
man.
a lot of so yeah, the cop. So Patty doesn't play Higher and Higher. She plays God Bless America, and it's a literal fat lady singing because it's supposed to signal the end of the movie. Because I think at one point Alan Arkin says, "I think that's it."
More or less, yeah.
Like to be a real meta.
He
joke.
has a weird final scene where they're flying over the city with a megaphone, and he's addressing them, and he's basically wrapping up the meaning of this whole movie. He's like, a lot of us feel alone in the world, alone, a part of some cheesy group, and that's what makes us such easy marks for the bad guys. And he kind of blames them for everything that happened.
Yeah, he's like, "Fuck you, America." Yeah. Also, go to your genocide towns.
And for a Australian movie, it is weirdly rah-rah America.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were making a movie for an American audience.
Yeah.
It's like a pseudo Captain America in many ways.
Yeah. It's going to kill in the States, mate. So recommendations?
No.
All I wrote, you can see in my notes, I just wrote, no.
Background sex noise.
Absolutely not.
No.
I can't.
No.
It's
not
good.
unless Charles Bronson.
You're going to get curious because you like Alan Arkin and you like Christopher Lee.
And on paper, this is crazy enough to make you want to check it out.
You'll
it's
get
not worth it.
It's not curious.
None of us felt better for having watched it.
Not the Australian Rocky Horror. It's not. I wanted it to be. I really wanted to like this movie.
Yep.
I was excited for this one.
Yeah, I was too.
Like you said, Alan Arkin, Christopher Lee, the guy who made Howling 2.
Star-studded.
The guy who made Communion. Come on. Right? No. Do you hear that sound?
I do.
How the fuck do you think they'd fit in here?
Oh, God.
Bobby, he's raising his hand. He's got it.
I think I know. Toward the end of this film, the U.S. government has acquired the giggle gun and the hypno ray, and they want to show it to reporters to see what they've been talking about the whole time. And when they open the door, the room is empty, and you faintly in the background hear an engine and tires squealing. as we've set up who the villains will be in the next one.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I was going to say villain in the next one. I was going to have the president calls and goes, we got another one. You know, and you start...
Exactly. They're running around this country with a giggle gun and a hypno ring.
Oh, yeah, the giggle gun.
Yeah.
Well, as what Bobby uses, it's called a joint.
Right. So. That's really all it was.
Okay, so because they never had the giggle gun, what if, because they never found, Christopher Lee obviously wasn't the guy with the giggle gun.
That's where the confusion lies.
They're like, wait, then who had the giggle gun? And then you hear,
little girl.
and then you just,
I think Bobby and DeVito are back at the Statue of Liberty with blowtorch and welding tools trying to get up the skirt of the Statue of Liberty.
We saw it walk. Bobby, she's French. She's not wearing any underwear.
Jesus.
DeVito, that also means she doesn't shave.
Hey, neither do I.
All right. So mine is the van with Bobby is parked somewhere near the Hollywood sign. And Bobby actually is getting lucky with the young lady.
oh no.
And while he's doing it, on top, on that waterbed, a spaceship comes down and is hovering over them. And a group of horny aliens watch Bobby finish the deed. And he asks her, how was it for you? And she goes, it was out of this world. 9 months later, they're in the hospital. She's giving birth. He walks into the room. There's no baby in her arms. And he looks up at the ceiling. And it's DeVito floating on the ceiling. And he says, Bobby, I got the money.
Beautiful.
Do you think Bobby has the sacred mark on his shoulder?
The bond that can't be broken.
Oh, definitely.
Do you think at some point he got celery crunched by Captain Invincible?
Well, it's for him. It's more of a rash.
I feel like
And not
Bobby,
so much on the back.
He gives a bond that can't be broken.
He does.
I feel like Bobby's the type that he's going to say, it's never happened to me before. A lot. Like just
whole lot.
assuming that he finishes.
No, I swear it's never happened.
And they believe it.
Well, thank you for joining us on another episode of The Grindbin. You can find us at grindhousefilm.com. Twitter, we're at GrindPod.
Absolutely. Like us on Facebook, hate us on Twitter, punish us on Patreon.
Yeah, patreon.com/Grindbin, where you can check out all our bonus episodes for as little as $2 a month. And so in January, because I left town, there was only one that went up in January, but the other one went up in February. So there's actually 3 going up in February.
Look at that.
Including
Fat February.
the early release of the first annual Binnies. The Golden Dumpster will be going to somebody on Patreon. You're going to be hearing that episode first, and then we'll eventually bring it over to the main feed. But
definitely not Tanner.
$2.
I ain't gonna hear
$2.
Minimum.
Tanner's going to be the red
He
carpet.
won't be the first one. Yeah, he's our red
As we
carpet
said,
reporter.
yeah, Tanner's got to be the.
I'll talk about the fashion.
You got to be the Joan
Yeah.
Rivers
I'll
because we
be
don't
the
have her
Joan.
anymore.
Tanner's like, who are you wearing?
You and Bobby will be on the red carpet.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Love it.
The red carpet
I first
pre-show
imagined
for the
Bobby
Binnies.
from the van. No. I was like, me and Bobby from the van.
yeah,
All
no,
right.
no, Bobby from the van. Not
Yeah.
Bobby.
Not me.
The real Bobby. Come on.
Me and Bobby open the show with a music number.
The Binnies forevermore.
I think I got Michael McDonald for this.
Hughes will be presenting.
Least ugly woman goes to.
We're gonna have definitely some surprises. We might get Linda another
I
appearance
think so.
from
Oh
Linda.
man, we haven't heard from her in a while.
Via Skype.
There may be Skype issues with Linda.
And guess what, guys? We're gonna be giving away 2 Grindbin All-Star. Grindbin Hall of Famers. We're gonna have 2
we're starting a
inductees
Hall of Fame.
into the Grindbin Hall of Fame.
I love it.
1 man, 1 woman. 2 are going into the Grindbin Hall of Fame this year. Who will it be?
Oh, that's wonderful.
And let me tell you, the Patreons get to pick. So that's gonna be a fun one.
We refer to them as the Patreons.
Regardless of what they signed up for, they're all equal in our eyes, except for those that paid $2.
Yeah.
Way to insult 2 of us.
Yeah, he's not alone now.
Wait till Tanner tells
Who's
that
the
other
other
person.
one?
Oh wait, there's like 3 or 4 now.
Yeah, we're getting real popular. There's people downgrading to the $2 level.
Oh yeah.
They're like, I don't need to pick a movie. I'm good.
But thank you to our patron Huey for recommending this one.
Huey, this made for a fun episode. We
yeah.
appreciate it. Even though we didn't like the movie and we don't like you, we appreciate
We had a great time. You have anything else to add, Chris, before we end this one?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the beanies. I got my tux rented and good to go.
Man, the Bennies! I'm telling you, this is going to be a star-studded event.
I'm pumped. Like, oh my god, the Crown Theater is all rented out. It's
I mean, have
decorated.
you even seen some of these nominees? I'm telling you, we're gonna. I mean, all the stars are gonna be at the Bennies. We got Linda Blair, we got Charles Bronson, we got
Brian
Connie
Bonsall.
Stevens,
Yeah.
Brian Bonsall.
Yeah.
I mean, hell.
I think Michael Sopkew's invitation got lost in the mail.
Hey, let me tell you whose invitation definitely got lost. Bo Hopkins. Fuck you, Bo.
What about the D's? Is the D's up for anything?
Stop it.
He'll
I'm
hear
going
you.
to write him in on every single.
I was actually.
All right, $2 level doesn't get to vote.
Seriously, this. I'm being very serious. Yep. If Eddie Deason wins an award at the Grindbin at the Bennies, I might
Let's track him down.
Find him and present it to him in person.
He lives in Maine now, so
we can at least.
I'll mail it to Stephen King.
He lives in Maine in a gutter.
Oh God,
he lives in a sewer drain.
Can you imagine Stephen King?
Hey, we all float down here.
You imagine?
Don't you want a balloon? Like he's like throwing out all these different shapes.
Stephen King lives this tranquil, peaceful life in Maine, and they go, Stephen, you got a new neighbor. And he just looks over and you just hear, Steven!
Little known fact, Eddie Deason was driving the car.
So there's a new movie called What About D's?
I would love to make a movie where it's Eddie Deason moving next to Stephen King and Stephen King murders him. It would be a great movie. Like a What About Bob, but with Deason. And instead of Richard Dreyfuss learning he's a good guy, he just fucking murders Deason. And he's like, yeah, fuck it, it's over.
Oh, I get it. Death therapy.
And the rest of the movie is the cops searching for the killer, and then they find out it's Stephen King, and they go, well, thank you, sir, and just shake his hand.
And they present him with the key to the city.
And a Benny.
Yep.
Well, Bobby, plug that vacuum.
What the world needs now is a shining hero. What the world needs now is a glory man who will fly down and save the day. What the world needs now, yeah, is a hero to help us through. We know he's gonna find it. Our Hypno-Ray. Yeah, he's gonna find it in a single day. Our troubles are over. That's what I say. I know he's gonna find it. Yeah, he's gonna find that ray. What the world needs now is a shining hero. What the world needs now is a glory man who will fly down and down and down and down and save the day. What the world needs now, yeah, is a hero to help us through. Yeah, brothers and sisters, we need a hero to find our Hypno-Ray. That Hypno-Ray, hip hip hooray.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Yeah, I made the key. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
What is it, knocker? Spooky ain't got no real rhythm.
Hello, Mr. Man.
We're gonna play a little game, baby.
I just love fun and games. Get a little girl all hot and horny.
This is Los Angeles. How the hell would women live? I'm horny. And maybe Daddy wouldn't have had to kill himself because he couldn't get it up anymore.
What a shame.
Come on, just step on the gas before we get green.
And